What's up, y'all? It's your boy Jake Vicious coming at you live from House Studio DC here with RapAboutTV. Make sure you get rapping, get on TV, put them bitches together, make RapAboutTV. Tune in every week because there's gonna be somebody dope, at least as dope as me, if not doper, on the joint. Watch it.
Blessings, people, man. It's RapAboutTV reporting live to y'all from House Studios, DC. It's Ab Judah right here. Got my man Jake Vicious to the right of me, man. Jake.
Yo.
Tell me what you do here at House Studios.
Man, I do a lot. You know what I'm saying? I'm like king of the interns. You know what I mean? I get coffee, get your tea right, get your, you know what I mean? Get your bottle of water, okay? But nah, I'm one of the engineers here. Me and Dave like run all the sessions out of here. I also do a lot of production work. You know what I mean? Making tracks or like playing music for artists. I play a lot of instruments, so I kind of do whatever.
What instruments do you play? What did you start? What instruments did you start?
So I'm a string guy. Start out. So like a guitar was like my main joint. I was like in like a rock band like back when I was like a little ass kid. Oh yeah. So I did like guitar, bass. I'm really good with. I do a little bit of like the weird strings too, like the violin stuff. I can like fucks around. Ukulele, I can fucks around.
How did you go from the band with your buddies to what was the next level for you, the next step?
So, yeah, like I was telling you, when I used to like love making records in those crazy basements, like eventually it would even be like I liked it more than performing out with the band. So like instead of doing craziness and like getting shows and stuff, I would just go to my friends who had studios and like try and work with them on different sessions. And we were kind of cool because like we were in the spot in New Jersey. There's a friend named James Petronio who actually like
that's a cool ass name.
Hell yeah, super crazy. Everyone I knew was like these crazy Italian kids.
Oh, shit.
So like and he's like a big assistant for somebody cool in the music industry right now. But so he had this studio called Northern Lights, and he would do a lot of like these cool recordings with like these New York punk bands because we were right outside New York City. So there's bands called like Team Spider and Leftover Crack, and there was like these crazy dudes who like did all the drugs. One of them, the Team Spider people, they had like an 80-year-old guy in the band. I shit you not. It was like a bunch of 24-year-old guys, and we were young then. We were like 16. Right. And we were like just trying to run these sessions out of these basements. And so yeah, I like first went over. I'm dead serious. Like this was like real life.
This sounds like some what's that Will Ferrell movie when they went to college?
Old school.
Yeah,
Old school.
Blue.
Hell yeah. I want to be blue. When I get that old, I hope I'm blue. Yeah, it's just dying, jelly wrestling match. That's what you gotta go.
That's the best way to go, man.
Hell yeah. But yeah, so it was kind of like that. It was like first little studio stuff, like right after the band. I just liked doing it. You know what I mean?
Did you go to school? When did you decide, I'm going to go to school for this?
So after all that craziness happened with like the firefighting stuff, that's what I said when I was like crazy angry. Like I ended up getting into AU, American, in DC, and they actually were going to pay for me to go to school to do business stuff. So it was called the Business of Music thing at that time. So I did that, and then I also did like this audio production stuff on the side. And so that's how what brought me to DC. It was like, yo, I can come here and do all this stuff, and it would just be like kind of a fit. And meanwhile, like I wasn't doing this other firefighting stuff. It was like this was kind of a second path. But then I came here and just stuff started to click. Like I was working for SiriusXM for a while. I did like some dope sections with like Big Boy, and like I did like Drew Hill and Neon Trees and like some dope bands in their performance studio. And I was just like an intern then, but it was just like super tight. And then I was like, okay, maybe this can be like a real thing.
After the American experience, what was next for you?
So it kind of blends together a little bit. So after that, like I was working at SiriusXM during that time a little bit. And then that thing kind of was coming to an end, and I was looking for other places to go, and this guy named Udo Gray, who's actually the CEO of House, reached out to me through some random website. So I came and checked out that spot. That was kind of before they had built it out, and it was just cool. And so I was like, yeah, you know, I'll come on board and try and like, at that time I was just interning for those guys and just trying to help out and do what I could. But I threw a couple shows across the city, like did a couple really dope sessions and projects, and then eventually started to kind of work my way up. And then, you know, became full-time here, and then that company exploded and got this building and got a couple other places, so it just kind of has been growing from there, and then the Grammy stuff and everything else. So.
Now touch on the Grammy stuff a little bit.
Okay.
What's that about?
So I got really involved with the Recording Academy, right? So the Recording Academy is basically the national whole collective of all the voting members for the Grammy Awards, but they do stuff like advocacy for like artists, and like they give like free healthcare and stuff like that. They try and really help people out. And they try and really get like, they fight for legislation to like help artists get paid more and producers get paid more. So like everything I'm about, for real. So I got really involved in just trying to help out with some of that stuff. And I started recently actually sitting on the board of governors for DC. I'm the co-chair of the producer and engineer wing. And so what that means is like I try and help them throw events and throw dope stuff with like artists and like gear manufacturers for like people to come out and like really be involved in the music scene to kind of like make DC pop. You know what I mean? Because DC is like so close so close to the city. Like it's nuts. You know what I mean? So kind of just trying to help out cultivate that scene and cultivate creatives, you know.
Now I've heard a little bit about the Grammy chapter and all that kind of stuff. What are the requirements that are necessary to be a part of something?
So any creative can be a member. To be a voting member, you have to have 8 official credits that are out either like in an iTunes or an AllMusic or something like that. But any person who's like a musician or somebody working in the industry can be like what's called an associate member. And like I would recommend that joint for real too, because it's like it's helped me, you know, kind of make a lot of connections with different people and like do a lot of stuff. Like recently I was working on some different stuff, but I did a Faith Evans sessions and I wouldn't have gotten that if I wasn't connected with the people here, but also with the people through Grammy stuff. So they got the hookup.
When you're sitting with these records after the recording, what makes a good mix to you? How do you know when this is good?
This is a good question too. A good mix to me, because it depends. Like a good mix can be a lot of things, but like really what a mix is supposed to be, right? Is it's supposed to like give the message of the record, right? So if you have this song that's about heartbreak, the mix is supposed to make you feel upset. If you have the song that's about happy, clapping and dancing, it's supposed to make you vibe and it's supposed to make you move. Like a good mix will get the message of the song delivered in the way it's supposed to be, to receive from the listener. Because what you're trying to do is get the listener to feel something. Because that's what music is, right? It's like telling stories through like sound and emotion. And like having a good mix means making that be able to be received. You know what I mean? Because I could say it's about chops and about EQ balances and shit like that, but it's really just about like, it's about the song. People forget that. I think it's all about the song. And whatever the song wants you to do, the mix has to make sure you do that. That's what a good mix is to me, at least.
Do you? Now listen, you mind us giving a little walk?
Yeah, of course. You see all the different spots. This is the SSL suite. This is one of the main rooms here, but all different gear. We have like different companies that help us out with some different stuff, like sponsorships as far as like either we'll do gear stuff like SSL and Chuck Levins, or like Native Instruments. I'll show you that room upstairs, which is stupid, or like Red Bull and Kind Snacks and stuff like that. So little stuff. Oh, trust me, you'll have more Red Bull and Kind Snacks in this bitch than you've ever had in your life. You'll have a heart attack and be healthy as shit, all at the same time. You don't got it. You ain't ready.
Yo, I'm in the studio.
Boom.
With Jake.
Boom.
Ain't nothing fake. It's the fall outside. I need a break.
Don't hate. Because of the leaves.
Exactly. Boom.
Flames.
God damn.
I was about to get on that libs. I was going to bed, like, you know he rake.
I was at a whole 16.
No, I wasn't going to do that though.
I had a whole verse ready.
Did you? See, they don't want this work though. They want to just keep us where we are.
I don't know they don't want it, man.
Nope. Not even once.
That's cool though. What's the or who are some of the favorite artists that you have, you know, worked with? Yeah, your relationship, the chemistry is there.
So there's a lot of like local heads from here that I really mess with really hard. Like Cloud9, this band's amazing. Darren Hannibal is a monster.
That's my guy.
Really? Yeah. Yo, I've like been working with him for a long time, and like I think he's super dope.
Darren's.
But as far as celeb people, some of my favorites, like I loved working with Faith. Faith Evans was awesome. I got to work with Malik Youssef recently, which was awesome. And he was telling all sorts of stories about like writing with Kanye and cool shit. So like that was super dope.
Seemed like a real cool dude.
Hell yeah. But there was a couple like that, like a couple of celeb sessions that went really, really well. Always fun. But like I said, I like to build more with people. Like I like making whole albums. I like really crushing on different stuff. So people like a Darren, or even there's an artist called Michael Huntley who's like an ex-American Idol guy. I'm like producing his album now. He's really tight. He's really fun to work with. There's a girl named Jen Miller who's really tight, fun to work with. Just a lot, you know what I mean?
So talk about the classes that you guys teach.
So we do a bunch of stuff, but like the main program is run through this thing called Recording Connection, where basically they like put engineers and producers, students, they put them as apprentices in different like studios like this. So they'll do different studios all over the country. We're one of their bigger studios. I think we're the biggest on the East Coast. And so they'll like sit behind me or like one of the other guys in the studio, like a Murph or a Dave or somebody like that. and then they'll kind of learn either engineering or production stuff. So stuff just like about microphones and how that stuff works, or stuff to like how to make dope 808s and Fruity Loops. You know what I mean? Different stuff. So it kind of depends on the student, because some students want to do engineer stuff, some students want to produce, some students are just artists. But it kind of like depends on the student. But yeah, those are kind of the classes. What we do is called recording connection. So
That's dope, man. What is some advice you would give to somebody who's trying to be in this position you are? Somebody who wants to be an engineer, wants to be a producer, want to be taken serious. What would you say to them?
Yeah, and I get asked this every once in a while. Like, two big things for me would be like, the first thing we said before, like, yo, treat people good. Like, just treat people dope. Like, don't flake on nobody, don't cheat nobody, don't steal. Like, just because you're gonna run into people again. Like, I don't know you know Darren. So what if Darren told you I was some kind of crook or some kind of wild shit? Like, yo, don't fuck with that guy Jake. You know, like, how would that be? And then we would run into you now and it would ruin this, which would ruin, you know what I mean? So treat people good and work. Especially if you want to be a music head. Like, if you want to be a producer, you need to produce every day. If you want to be an engineer, you need to engineer every day. You like have to push yourself. Like, isn't that the thing about the Kanye, where Kanye did like 5 beats a day for 3 summers or some shit like that? And Kanye's a dope producer. Now, I don't know if it was really that much shit, you know what I mean? People be saying wildness, but I guarantee he produced a rack of records that nobody's ever gonna hear, because like he had to make himself doper every time. So like you have to work. Like 1 or 2 dope beats does not make you a dope producer. Making 1 or 2 dope beats a day gets you on your way. You know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Now, are there any major engineers, producers that you look to for? You look at the tricks of the trade, like how you do that, or I want to learn to do this.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm like one of those like nerds where like I actually know about this shit a little bit. So like I actually like study some of the people. So like you talk about like people who do like big records. There's people like Jason Joshua does like a lot of Mike Will made shit. And, like his shit's always on point. This dude named Manny Marroquin who's always on point. There's this like very famous engineer named Dave Pensato who has like this he like teaches this show like for famous engineers for real. And I got to be on that show once, which was love. So I'm really a big fan of him. We have a good relationship with Young Guru, who is like Jay-Z's engineer, and he does like, obviously he's all over the country DJing and lecturing, and so all those people, like I'm inspired by all those people. They're all really tight. There's so many too, there's like so many more. But I just like dope people. I like dope producer engineers too, like or producer artists. Like I'm a big fan of like John Bellion, or like even like Malik Youssef, like people like that, like they are the shit.
What does it take to be an elite engineer?
To be an elite engineer, it's like, it takes a lot. It takes a lot of like man hours and practice of you being super dope and working on music, but it takes a lot of like people skills, you know what I mean? Because artists are people, and their managers and their label reps and their writers and their producers are all different people you have to all try in a piece at the same time. So to be a great engineer, it's like being a great chef with people and sounds at all times. You gotta cook with the people and you gotta cook with the sounds, and you gotta make the blends always taste good.
I like that. Was a good
I like that too. I just came up with that.
That was if you had to lead the people with one last thing, just maybe about yourself or about how studios in general, just anything. Just you want to let them know so that what would that be?
Man, I don't know. There's a lot, but like my whole big thing is like you be good to other people, especially if you're in this music shit and you're creative. Just like treat people right. Like try and link with people off of the love of what you do. Like. It's not all about like, it's not the big dick competition. It's really like all of us are trying to do the same shit like together. You know what I mean? If I work, people are so close-minded with shit. It's like, yeah, I work at this studio, so I ain't fucking with them other studios. That's so stupid. Like, I work with other studios all the time because the more people who touch my records, or the more people are gonna listen to the records. Like that's the part people don't think. So, yeah, just try. Don't have this one-up mentality about it. Like really try and just be dope and be humble and just keep grinding and hopefully align yourself with good people. That's why I like house. That's what kept me here. It's like I saw people who were dope, who were stupid talented, and it was like, yo, I want to be like them and I want to contribute to that situation and make that situation better. And we're here now, so we only going up from here. So that'd probably be the last thing I would say.
Jake, man, we appreciate your time.
I appreciate you more than you know. What you guys don't know is like I was being a big flaky asshole yesterday because I was at some release party where drummers sucked and left 45 minutes late. I ain't gonna say his name, but I appreciate RapAboutTV for coming out again and being awesome and putting up with my stupid ass.
No problem, man. Jake Vicious, Ab Judah, RapAboutTV, House Studios. We out, man.